Did she just call you Darlene?
Yeah, I have no problem with it.
It's very modern.
ABC's reboot of Roseanne continues to generate headlines, both positive and negative, partly generated by star and executive producer Roseanne Barr's political views. On Tuesday, the revived sitcom, which has already been renewed for next season, aired its third new episode. In an interview with The Hollywood Reporter's Lesley Goldberg, co-showrunner Bruce Helford talks about this week's installment, his controversial star, hopes for season 2, and what he wants the show to accomplish. Spoiler alert ahead for the third episode of the rebooted season of Roseanne. Tuesday night's installment featured Darlene's teenage daughter Harris clashing with Roseanne, prompting a frank discussion about parenting styles. Helford reveals that they were excited to focus on how Roseanne saw Darlene as a parent. According to the co-showrunner, we took into consideration where she's at emotionally, having to come back home from Chicago after having had things not go so well there. The storyline is about what your obligations as a parent are to your kids if things don't go the way you want and how you deal with that. Meanwhile, the topic of Barr's support for President Donald Trump and the role it has played in the show's rating success so far has been a talking point for many, but Helford refuses to speculate on whether the two are linked. "I don't discuss her politics, that's her private business," he says. There's Roseanne Barr, and then there's Roseanne Connor. There are some similarities and plenty of differences. I honestly think this was really about the show coming back into people's lives. There is a nostalgia factor and the feeling of being accepted among the Connors. It was previously revealed that Trump will never be mentioned specifically by name in season 1 of the revival, and Helford suggests that next season will be more of the same. "We never set out to be a show about politics," says Helford. "We set out to be a show about the Connors and how the current political climate affects the family. We made a point of not mentioning names in the beginning, and I believe we will probably maintain that same thing. There is no agenda here in any direction." Barr's politics, of course, continue to be a focus for the media and the country in general, especially after photos surfaced Friday with Barr dressed up as Hitler and holding burned cookies that she's taken out of an oven. When asked how he feels about the star of his show dressed as a Nazi, Helford explains, "I know that Roseanne is a very staunch supporter of Israel, and she has said as much. I imagine there's probably some amount of parody involved and all that. I don't know the context of that, so I wouldn't make a comment on it." Helford also offers this advice for viewers. "My feeling is that people should just watch the show and judge it on its merits. Watch the show without the accompanying background noise. Everybody, including Roseanne, wanted the show to be balanced. When we talk about wanting to open a dialogue in America, that's something that the show does. We're not trying to perform brain surgery or cure cancer." The co-showrunner also shares this final thought for those turned off from watching because of Barr's politics. "There should be an understanding that there is a difference between people's personal politics and what you present on screen," he says. "We're hopefully presenting a wonderful, balanced show that doesn't have an agenda. But if her politics bothers them, then they shouldn't watch the show. That's okay. Nobody is making anybody watch the show. We consider ourselves guests in the public's home, and as guests, we know that people have the option to turn it off if they don't want to watch." To read Lesley Goldberg's full interview with Roseanne Co-Showrunner Bruce Helford, head to THR.com. And tell us, have you been watching the latest season of Roseanne? Are you happy that it's been renewed for another season? And how do you think the show is handling its star and main characters' political views so far? Let us know in the comments. For The Hollywood Reporter News, I'm Lindsay Rodriguez.